Hey Monty! Yaar Monty! Yo! Right here, man.
Oh, wow, Faisal. Didn't recognize you with that mohawk haircut, man.
Yeah, right. Very funny, okay? Rabia likes it, bro. Alright, chill. By the way, I hope your flight was okay. Come, let's go.
Yeah, it was fine.
Bhai, are you ready for the drive of your life?
As in your new sports car?
Yeah, baby. You're just about to witness something called speed.
Bro, that sounds crazy. Can't wait. But how fast can it be?
This is Dubai, Monty. The land of automobiles and buildings. Are you ready? That's important.
Totally. Oh, I have adrenaline rushing in every cell of my body.
Well, let's go then. And this isn't even the fastest it can go, okay? Let me show you something. Wait. Faisal, watch out! Oh
no! Is it dead?
No, dude, just chill. We didn't hit the cat. You can open your eyes now.
Oh, thank God. But you can't drive so fast, man. We almost died there. My entire life flashed in front of my eyes right now. I'm not even kidding you. What happened?
Yeah, Monty, a few lives flashed in front of my eyes too. But none of them were mine.
What do you mean?
My family, bro, Monty, my family. I saw my family living on the road. I mean, one stupid mistake and all because of my thrill for speed. I can't risk their future, dude. I mean, I have a 7-month-old son. I have spent so much money in buying this house, sports car, so many other luxuries, while in actuality I should have first made sure that I have secured my wife, my daughter, and my son. You know, everyone kept telling me to get insurance, but you know me, I never listened, bro. You know, Sunny also tried to explain to me to at least get a term one for starters, to just get a hang of it. But yaar, I kept delaying it, yaar.
It's not too late, Faisal. You can even get one now. And get the best one for you and your family. Come, let's go home. Can't wait to eat Rabia Bhabhi's dry fruit kheer. Want me to drive?
Nice try, bro. Come, let's go home.
You are listening to Policybazaar.ae's The Policy Project. We've got you covered.
Hello! Welcome to a brand new episode of Policybazaar.ae's The Policy Project. My name is Annie, the host of this podcast and your go-to person for all things insurance. Hope you're doing well. I know the weather can get a little toasty out there, but what Faisal did could have completely roasted him. I mean, I think that was a close call. What you just heard was the story of Faisal, an NRI who's living in Dubai, and Monty is his friend who's, visited him from India. Usually, as both you and I know, a story takes a very exciting turn during climax, whether it's Bollywood or Hollywood. But in this case, it came to a screeching halt. And I think that made our hero, Mr. Faisal, realize the importance of securing his family's future by getting a term insurance. So, what is a term insurance? Term insurance is like borrowing an umbrella. You hope you never need it, but it's always there to protect you when it rains, right? That's kind of nice. Or when life throws unexpected surprises. I am an adept learner, but one thing that I know for sure is that I'm not an expert in term insurance. That's why, to provide more insights, I've invited Joseph Terence, who's the business head life of Policybazaar.ae. He's got over 20 years of experience in this industry, and he's going to join me on the policy project. In today's episode, Joseph is actually going to cover various aspects of term insurance, including things like, and questions we always have, what to do, what not to do, how to choose, and what to choose when it comes to term insurance. So, without wasting any more time, let's welcome Joseph to the show. Hi, Joseph. Welcome to Policybazaar.ae's The Policy Project. It's so nice to have you on the show.
Hi, Annie. It's my pleasure to be here.
Joseph, how many years have you been in this industry per se?
So, I started working in insurance about around 20 years back and about 15 plus years in life itself. So, I started my career
Wow.
here in UAE as insurance executive in a non-life division, handling primary claims for general accidents and public liability policies, and then moved into life side where I started with product development, all those things. And my last role in my previous organization was basically taking care of underwriting, operations, and claims. Currently with Policy Bazaar for some time, handling the business head role, managing the life business.
And I will start off with the questions right away, Joseph. Who is an ideal candidate to opt for term insurance? Is it for everyone?
Everybody is a candidate. Anybody who is an earning member is a candidate for term insurance. Like if you earn, no matter what's your age, you should buy a term insurance. That's a basic.
Oh, that's lovely. What about parents who have already started accounts for their children? So the children are sort of earners. Can then the parents help children also get term insurance at a very young age?
Right. So there are two ways to look at it. First, if the children they are still in college, there is a limited amount of cover that some insurance companies provide for student, but not all companies provide that.
Okay,
So once you start earning, that is the time usually they provide. So basically, the person who is insured has to be underwritten financially and medically, right? So the coverage depends, and the amount of coverage also varies depending on what is your status. Like status in a sense, are you a earning member or a non-earning member?
sure. How much coverage do I need as the sole earning member of my family?
The thumb rule is if you are in age like below 40,
Mhm.
20 times your annual salary is what we recommend. If you're above 40, 45, then about 15 times. And then as age goes, it goes to 10 times. So your basic principle or a thumb rule that you should follow when you buy a term insurance is, okay, if I'm like, for example, if I'm age 30 and if something happens to me, what happens to my, if I'm married and I'm with kid, what happens to my wife,
Right.
what happens to my daughter, will my family be able to provide? So that is the
Sure.
consideration that you do. And when you buy term insurance, you should look at, okay, if something happens to me, my family's lifestyle should not change for another couple of years. That is one basic rule. And second, to add on to that, you add if you have any liabilities or debts. So that is something that they can pay off. That is the amount that you add to the term insurance basic coverage. Actually, yeah.
Basic coverage is a huge responsibility to begin with. And I'm really glad we're having this conversation. What are the benefits then of getting term insurance?
So the basic benefit is a death benefit that's built in the term insurance.
Okay.
That's like a pure vanilla thing, which means in case you die, anything happens to you, your family gets a benefit. Now there are
Hmm.
a couple of living benefits also that is added to the term insurance product. For example, a permanent total disability, which means in case you are totally disabled, not able to do anything that you're qualified or anything totally disabled, then the company
Right.
pays either full amount or a 50% amount, depending on the insurance and what you've taken. Another added benefit is a critical illness rider, which means if you are diagnosed with any critical illness post taking a policy, the insurance company pays a lump sum out to maintain your treatment or all the expenses that you go through if
Right.
you diagnosed
Right.
with Kindrigan. So these are two basic living benefits that it's added to the term insurance product along with the death. Then okay, there are some other riders like accidental death, temporary total disability, all those. But I would say yeah, these two riders, permanent total disability and critical illness, are the two important riders.
It does give hope to many of them because there are incidents or accidents or the situations in life that you do come across that's not in your control. So, if term insurance can give you that sort of support, and I think that is highly, highly beneficial. Can my insurance premium change in the future? In case my health deteriorates or I'm diagnosed with any kind of worse sort of illness. I mean, you've already mentioned that, but is there something where I need to keep these things in mind because it may increase the premium?
Not actually. So what we do is, as underwriters, what we do is when we take up your application, when you subscribe for an insurance or when you put up your application, we assess you that time. We assess you medically and we assess you financially. Medically, for a reason, what is your present condition? And based on that, if you have a condition, or if we think you might have a condition, we might probably give a little bit of extra loading into the plan, which means your premiums might be slightly higher. It becomes a substandard case. And financially, whether you we should be giving you that coverage or not, we do not want anti-selections here. Yeah, so once the plan is underwritten and it is in force, your health condition doesn't change the premium. Yep, premium wise, unless you have not, I mean, if you've hidden something which you know of, that changes the
Right.
whole scenario. Then the policy becomes void, actually.
Oh, so you're saying if I've been smoking cigarettes, which I have avoided telling you, and then there is a condition that crops up because of smoking cigarettes, then that could be an issue?
See, if you've declared as a smoker, your rates can change. There are few companies which differentiate smoker, non-smoker. Some companies have a non-differentiated rates, like whether you smoke, you don't smoke. Up to 20 cigarettes, they usually allow it as simple rate, same rate.
I'm glad with that special information you're sharing. Okay.
Right. And again, smoking doesn't mean just cigarettes. It
Mm,
also means whether you vape, you use e-cigarettes, you do
right.
hookah, cigar, anything.
Right.
Yeah. So if you've not declared and there's a condition, so usually what I mean, insurance companies are usually very much, I mean, they don't nag so much. So I should say, yeah, they would charge you an extra rate at the kind of whenever the incident happened. That is something they might do, and they do,
Mm,
but it is not a rule. They can decline but yeah,
wow.
usually they don't.
Wow. So, which means if I do declare that I am a regular smoker vis a vis not a smoker too much, then that also affects my premium amount in the beginning. And so people can escape from mentioning this in the beginning.
I would suggest no, because if there is a differentiated rate, I might send you for a medical examination.
Right.
And if there's a coating test done and I figure out, then it's not good sign.
Now, the fact that I'm going to declare this, whether I am a smoker or a drinker, um, is that also then going to be part of my record and may be used against me when it's time for my family, say, in the event of a death or in the event of a disease that does come up, a lifestyle disease or any of that kind? Does that mean that it can then be used against me?
It can be used, yes, it is recorded. Every statement that you make, whether it is smoker, your health condition, everything is recorded. It will
Right.
be used, but not adversely. Like, it is not going to be used
Okay.
against you. It is going to help you and your family on the claim side. If you've not declared and we figure out, that's trouble. I mean,
Ooh.
my simple word is, if you have a condition, if you smoke, if you drink, please declare it sincerely, because term insurance, one product, the benefits, you're not going to enjoy the benefits most of the time. It's your
Right.
family, and it's for their security and well-being. So
Sure. Sure.
let them get that benefit, and just to save a couple of dirhams, to not hide any information. Anything that is recorded, and we issue a policy based on what you've declared,
Right.
which means we are liable to pay claims
Okay.
whenever a claim happens, and whether it is because of smoking or whatever conditions that you've declared. It is never going to be used against you. It's on record.
Well, that does come as a good source of not only information but hope for those who still haven't taken up maybe term insurance. They must look in this direction very, very seriously. I'm sure buying a term insurance in the Middle East versus buying a term insurance in India will have its own extra benefits. Can you tell us about that too?
So, two differences I would say. One is the currency depreciation part, wherein if you buy from UAE or if you buy from India, your actual value of that particular product decreases. For example, if I had taken a 1 million dirham policy 20 years back, that time it would be worth about 1.2 crores, and today it's about 2.2 crores. So that is one difference. Second, if you're buying a policy in UAE, I mean, you don't pay tax. There are differentiations. If you're taking from India, one is the differentiation in the taxations, plus your depreciation in the value. Most importantly, wherever you're buying, you should buy it from the geography that you're living in. Your mortality rates are, it's just not a factor of death per thousand, but it also includes the lifestyle, your accessibility to the healthcare. So that is how the pricing or the modality rates are defined. And if you are living in UAE, I would suggest you take it from UAE rather than taking from India. I mean, everybody has a question that, tomorrow I'm going to return back, but whether you're here or there,
Right.
if you buy a policy here from here, you can still continue paying wherever in the world you shift to.
But that also doesn't change the fact that despite being a resident of UAE, if the death or the last few days have happened in India, that doesn't change anything of the term insurance that I have taken from the Middle East.
No. So in UAE, whatever policies that we issue have a worldwide coverage.
Right.
Worldwide coverage means anywhere in the world, I mean, the person passes away, we will pay, except for if it is a war, or those exclusions are there, if those countries. And regarding the payouts also, if your beneficiary is anywhere in the world, we will pay out, except for sanctioned countries. If there's a sanctioned country, we're not allowed to pay into that country. But for mostly for Indians, yes, we can definitely pay out. And death happens anywhere, whether in India or in UAE or in probably in United States, it is definitely paid out.
All right, that's wonderful. The last question for today's session I have for you is what all is covered in a term insurance plan?
So as I said, the basic benefit is death due to any cause, whether it's sickness, it is accident,
Right.
whatever. It is covered. And plus, if you have taken any supplementary benefits like permanent total disability, critical illness,
Mm-hmm.
so those are covered. The only thing is you have declared everything, and it should be in the terms and condition that it is covered. It should not be part of the exclusions.
I must say that was very informative. Thank you so much for those amazing insights, Joseph. This now brings me to our next segment, and the segment is called Ask Away. This is where we take the most commonly asked questions by our lovely customers and try to answer them with the help of our expert. Now, if you're anything like me and have questions about insurance and personal finance, then you don't need to fret anymore. Just ask away. Slide into our DMs on Instagram at Policybazaar.ae, or you can also reach out to us via any other social channel. And we're going to try our best to answer your queries in our next episode. Speaking of which, today's episode, we're going to tackle all the term insurance questions that have been flooding our inbox. All right, the question. This one is from Rishabh Gupta. He's an engineer. Rishabh asks, what's the maximum number of years for which I can be insured under a term insurance policy? And also, what's the minimum? Are these time periods, he also wants to know, different for UAE and India?
Usually the minimum is 5 years that we say, unless it is a mortgage policy. The maximum goes from 30 to 35 years, though some companies definitely allow you to take more than that. But usually it's 30 to 35 years maximum term. As term says, it is for a definite period. It has to be defined as like a period. So 35 is something that is a thumb rule. And yes, in India as well as in UAE, more or less it's the same time period.
I'm really glad we're having this conversation. The next question, it comes from Kajal Iyer in Doha. She's a housewife and she asks, can term insurance policies be surrendered or terminated? And are there any penalties or charges if I surrender my term insurance policy, she wants to know.
To answer it very simply, no. There are no surrender charges, but yes, you can surrender it. It's term insurance is like a prepaid policy that you're buying for a limited. It's like a pay-as-you-go line
Right,
that
right.
you subscribe for. So yes, it doesn't have a surrender value. There's nothing that you get when you surrender, unless it is a policy which is called the cashback policy, or
Okay.
it says term insurance with return of premium. In that case, you might get a little amount back depending on the product itself. But generally speaking, no, you're not getting anything back if you surrender your policy.
Wow. Now that brings me to the final question of Ask Away. It's from Nisar Ahmed from Sharjah. He's a designer who's moved to Dubai just 6 months back, and he asks, it's usually said that investing early on is beneficial. Does the same then apply to getting term insurance as well? And what are the benefits of having a term insurance, he wants to know, especially if you were kind of starting off at the age of 25, when you've just maybe gotten into your first job or maybe started a business?
Definitely, the earlier that you start, the cheaper it turns out to be. So your premiums are set based on your start age. So the later in your age that you take, you might end up paying more premiums. For example, a 30-year-old might end up paying about 300 dirhams, 400 dirhams for a million coverage, but whereas when he's 40 for the same term, he might probably pay double of it. So the earlier you take, the better. Your health conditions deteriorate. You get a cheaper insurance when you buy younger. As you grow old, you have other conditions that come in. So, chances of getting rated up increases. When you're young, you're fit and healthy. And yep, start from that day, I would say. The earlier, the better.
That was really good. A wonderful session indeed. Thank you so much for joining us, Joseph.
Thank you, Annie. Well, it was really interesting talk. See you soon.
And that's a wrap from my side. Rishabh, Kajal, Nisar, they've got their answers. But when it comes to you, if you have any questions about insurance and personal finance, then simply ask away. What you've got to do is DM us on Instagram, follow at Policybazaar.ae, or reach out to us via any other social channel. And we're going to try our best to answer your queries in our next episode. As of today, I hope that you are now completely aware about the concept of term insurance. This is me, Annie, signing off. I'm going to catch you in the next episode now with more information coming straight from the industry experts themselves. Till then, take care and stay tuned.
You were listening to Policybazaar.ae's The Policy Project. We've got you covered.